Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe it.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
Are there any ties between Mr. Trump, you or your campaign, and Putin and his regime?
No, there are not. It's absurd, and there's no basis to it.
They'll say anything to be able to win this. I mean, this is time and time again, lie after lie. It's disgusting. It's so phony. I can't think of bigger lies.
I have nothing to do with Russia. I don't have any jobs in Russia. I'm all over the world, but we're not involved in Russia.
I have nothing to do with Russia, folks.
Absolutely not. And I discussed that with the president-elect just last night. Those conversations never happened.
Did any advisor or anybody in the Trump campaign have any contact with the Russians who were trying to meddle in the election?
Oh, of course not.
Was there any contact in any way between Trump or his associates and the Kremlin or cutouts they have?
Of course not. Why would there be any contacts between the campaign?
Well, we were very clear that during the transition period, he did speak with the ambassador.
I'm talking about during the campaign.
I don't have any. There's nothing that would conclude me that anything different has changed with respect to that time period.
So no collusion whatsoever between anybody involved with Trump and anybody involved with Russia in the 2016 campaign?
No. There is no collusion between me and my campaign and the Russians. I have had dealings over the years where I sold a house to a very wealthy Russian many years ago. I had the Miss Universe pageant, which I owned for quite a while. I had it in Moscow a long time ago. But other than that, I have nothing to do with Russia.
2013 is a long time ago to have dealings in Russia, apparently. That's when the Miss Universe pageant was. But these articles, go deeper than that. These articles show that Donald Trump has been trying to build Trump Tower Moscow for a very, very long time. And that his friend and attorney and executive vice president of the Trump organization, Michael Cohen, was in contact with the Kremlin and the Kremlin's spokesperson during the election campaign. And, when you look at these tapes, I mean, it's like you got to try and remember who these people are, because they're all gone. Everybody's gone. Manafort is gone. Spicy's gone. Reince is gone. They all took a bullet for this lying sack of crap, and they're all lying on the TV, and Trump is lying under oath, and Trump is lying to the BBC. He doesn't know Felix Sater, who happened to grow up with Michael Cohen. They're both from Russia. Both of them are from Russia, and they were brought here as children. They're dreamers, They dreamt of laundering money for the mafia, and their dreams came true. And Felix Sater was prosecuted. He took a plea deal, and the prosecutor now works on Mueller's team. Oh, my God. Now, why is that so hard for anybody to explain? I don't know. But suddenly, they're finding out, there are emails. What are we going to do now?
But just by asking a question about contact, when everyone in the Trump campaign has said, and President Trump, I've had no I've had no contact with Russians. Even Michael Cohen, I don't really have contact with Russians. And then you find emails, and there are emails of contacts with Russians.
Emails.
And do you think that...
Okay, well, let's go through. He never actually said, I have no contacts with Russians, because Donald Trump...
Lying sack of crap.
I want to answer it because you're making an accusation against the president. Look, if you had a legitimate accusation against the president, I'd be all ears. I want to hear. I'm a journalist just like
you. Yeah, Chris Ruddy of Newsmax, that's who that is a journalist just like you. They're right down the street here. I can walk right down the street now. I'm doing more journalism than they do, okay? It's unbelievable. Chris Ruddy is the go-to guy to lie for Donald Trump. Now, this is what we're down to. Newsmax is going to lie, and Bannon's got it over at Breitbart. He's going to lie, too. But, see, Bannon's got bigger fish to fry. How's his war against Congress going to go now? He needs Congress, you moron. You know, they were running this whole campaign against Senator Mitch McConnell because they allowed the Russia thing to go forward, right? They were running this whole campaign against every senator. They were running a campaign against Flake. They were running a campaign against anybody that spoke up and said that Donald Trump is a fake, a phony, a fraud, and that the GOP is in denial about the fake, phony, fraud Donald Trump. And so, you know, you had Bannon leave the White House to go back to Newsmax. He was back at Newsmax 5 hours after leaving the White House and fighting this war against the senators and fighting a war against House members who had the audacity to speak out against Trump. How's that going to play out for you now? Now you need $150 billion from Mitch McConnell. Fascinating, ain't it? They're such losers. These people are such fans of lost causes like, rugged independence. Yeah, good luck, Texas. I mean, I'm marveling at these preppers in Texas, how they prepped and all for nothing. All for nothing. You still need the government to come get you. You still do. It's unbelievable. So I mean, this is unbelievable to me. There's emails. There's emails everywhere. And Felix Sater, by the way, has a business card that he produced in one of these cases. And the business card says, advisor to Donald Trump. Trump Organization business card. His job on the Trump Organization business card is advisor to Donald Trump. Well, of course it is. Michael Cohen's your best buddy. They've known each other since the, pre-pubescence. They probably sat in a circle together. Some tissues. Oh, no, come on. These are friends. These are childhood, prepubescent and pubescent friends who went through everything together, including, the whole experience of you and Five Fingers. You know what I mean? And nobody else likes you and girls won't, look at you. And then the girls and all come on. This is amazing. And now we find out that, during the campaign, Michael Cohen is writing letters to the Kremlin, seeking direct assistance from the Kremlin to advance Trump's business interests in the same exact months when Trump is running for president. And they're lying to you. They're sitting there just lying. It's unbelievable. I cannot believe, that they're continuing to lie. So, okay, this morning on Morning Joe, here's the conclusion of the brainiacs that host that particular thing.
You just keep thinking, okay, well, they couldn't have done anything dumber than this. But they just did. And by the way, this links back with something I said in yesterday's fun-filled episode of Morning Joe, which was Donald Trump never thought he was going to win the presidency.
That's it.
This was all a money-making scam. He thought Jeb Bush was going to beat him. He never thought so he was going to, straight out of the Steve Miller Band, he was going to take the money and run. So let me use the position I'm in right now and try to get that tower in Moscow.
Branding. I don't know a lot about international real estate deals, but I don't think too many Americans email Vladimir Putin's spokesperson to try to get help with deals. I just don't think that's that common. And this is obviously very similar to the Don Jr. meeting in Trump Tower, which is, as all this scrutiny has taken place over the last year of the relationship between the Trump world and Russia, these guys were sitting on this stuff, knowing full well.
They were lying.
Knowing full well.
Oh, no contact with Russia.
It's incredible to me, and I believe we can reliably assume that this is not it.
Yeah, well,
there's more coming.
Yes, there's more coming. That's John Heilemann. That's the brain, that they have to talk to because they can't figure out what the hell's going on there. They can't. But yes, of course he didn't think he was going to win. Nobody thought he was going to win except for Vlad. And so he was cashing in. I don't know about the Jeb Bush part. I don't think that he thought Jeb was going to win. I just don't. Nobody thought Jeb was going to win. Jeb was supposed to win, but I don't think anybody thought that Jeb was going to win because Jeb was, he was a mushball. Nobody had, he didn't have that Republican strength like Harvey. You need girth. You need strength to be, the Republican nominee, especially when you have little hands. You know what I mean? So little Marco wasn't going to win, and, Jeb wasn't going to win. I mean, pretty much if there was nobody else in the way, it probably would have been Kasich, tell you the truth. But, not Lying Ted. And Lying Ted was lying. And Lying Ted was lying today. Lying Ted is sitting here telling you that he didn't vote, and neither did any of the Texas delegation vote for the Superstorm Sandy relief bill because it was 2/3 pork, and that is not true. Almost every dollar went to Sandy relief. Every single solitary dollar. It's just a lie. And Ted Cruz is just such a mean son of a bitch. Like Mick Mulvaney was a mean son of a bitch, and he introduced a bill in the House that was like, not even going to cover, replacing a house, not even one house, in the wake of Sandy. Not roofs, definitely not roofs that were blown off in Washington, D.C. Because, why should we pay for roofs blown off in a hurricane in Washington, D.C. if you're asking for relief for Superstorm Sandy? I mean, couldn't connect the two. So the whole Texas delegation voted for Mick Mulvaney's ridiculous nothing of a bill. But when it came time to do the real relief bill for Sandy, the entire Texas delegation voted no. And now, look at them. There's no way we would vote no for them. That will not happen. They're just disgusting. And we keep on bailing them out. And then they turn around, they stab you in the back. They stab you in the back. Jay in Michigan.
Randy.
Yeah.
If your prediction comes true and they try to derail Mueller,
they will
through budgetary tricks, do you realize what you're saying is that the whole government is really going to fall? Because Mueller won't have any choice but to charge them all with obstruction. And not only that, colluding with a foreign power that keeps nuclear missiles pointed at us 24/7. These people, they don't even realize that they're stepping into a treason charge. And the penalties for treason can, I guess, in some ways include the death penalty or confiscation of all of Trump properties. I mean, they are jacking with our national security for giggles to try to distract us from Mueller. They talk about North Korea like it's a joke. They talk about in Venezuela. I have no idea.
North Korea, this is really interesting, too. I got to say, first, let me just say, treason is only treason in a time of war. And so you can't charge anybody with treason right now. Yes, we're at war with Afghanistan, but that's not the same. I don't think they could stretch Afghanistan far enough because, first of all, isn't it just fundamentally evil to try to... Here's what I would do if I were Mueller. Wreck our foreign policy to distract us from Russia. I mean, that's why he's doing all this evil stuff. Okay, so back to our foreign policy. On Sunday, you had all the brainiacs on the TV. You had Donald Trump on the TV. You had, what's his name? The guy that's breaking the State Department. Oh, Rex. Yeah, it's not REX anymore. It's WRECKS, Rex. Wrecks the State Department. He's wrecking the State Department. I swear to God, we have no envoys anywhere where we need them to be to negotiate our way out of Afghanistan. And it looks like the Taliban will be the government that the Afghans have chosen. There's really nothing more that we can do about it. But that said, North Korea fired a missile that flew over Japan last night.
Correct. Yeah, I saw that.
Flew over Japan. I saw that. And this is 5 minutes after Trump was saying how he respects Kim Jong-un and because he's backing off. And Tillerson was on the Sunday show saying, he's backing off. And, the idiots on my Facebook page and in my chat room and all this were going, he's so strong. He got North Korea to back off. Meanwhile, they're firing these freaking missiles over freaking Japan. 1,700 miles that thing went.
Randy, do you suppose that Trump... I know Kim Jong-un, the little one, he's doing bad things. I get all that. He's threatening war. I get all that. But Trump is so easy to provoke. And all North Korea wants is attention. Do you think that Trump is provoking a conflict on the Korean Peninsula just to distract us from Mueller? I get that impression.
No, I don't think it's any one reason. I think that there are many, many reasons to provoke North Korea, China being one of them. He hates China. Mm-hmm. He really hates China. But let me just tell you before let me tell you before I let you go. If I were Mueller, I'm just saying. Now, I'm not telling him what to do. I'm just saying if I were sitting in his chair right now, and I had gotten as far as I believe he's gotten on this investigation. Hence, we've seen emails, linking Michael Cohen to the Kremlin. We know we don't hear much about Flynn. We know Manafort's house was raided, meaning he's not cooperating, and so. You could just see the writing on the wall. And knowing that Donald Trump has been deposed under oath prior about Felix Sater and his knowledge of Felix Sater, if I were Mueller and they took my funding away, I would charge what I already have. I would go with what I got. And what I got is the president lied under oath in a civil case, just like Clinton did. And also, I got that the president's business partner contacted the Kremlin directly. So he goes down.com for the whole thing in a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.